You know how I always say that conservatives consider cruelty towards the minorities that they hate and that the left typically tries to advocate for as a virtue? That, like, outside of any other beliefs they hold, being cruel to lefties or a minority is like a virtuous and heroic act in their spaces and in their ideology. You know I say this all the time, right? And, you know, I usually bring it up when there is an example of this at hand, like as a response to an example of it. But in this case, I feel like this is a more blatant example of this conservative tendency, and I think it's a very undeniable example of this conservative tendency. And if you don't believe that this is the case, then this video will most likely end up changing your mind. And if it doesn't, then I don't even know. I honestly don't even know. Anyway, I'm going to be reading a article from a repellent news source called the New York Post. I don't even want to call them a news source because it's just a tabloid site, and I hate it. I really do. They're a repellent website. There's a lot of reasons to hate the New York Post. The New York Post. I hope it crashes and burns. But, unfortunately, they have posted this story, and the response to it is what I'm going to be talking about, so onward we go. The story is as follows. Trans woman left sobbing in JFK Airport after TSA agent hit her testicles, report. A transgender woman left in tears at JFK Airport after she claimed a TSA agent punched her in the testicles while she was going through security, the Daily Mail reported. The unidentified flyer took to social media to vent about the incident in which she said the agent humiliated her in front of everyone in a series of posts that have since been deleted, according to the outlet. Hi, so a TSA agent at JFK Airport punched me in the genitalia, yelled at me for having a penis, and humiliated me in front of everyone after I told her to please stop. She captioned a photo of her crying in the airport bathroom, according to a screenshot of the post. But the embarrassment didn't stop here, according to the woman. The TSA agent followed me into the woman's bathroom and began talking about me to a coworker while I sobbed in a stall, she wrote, asking friends on the internet for advice as to what she should do. Hi, so, well, yeah, there's the post. At me for having a penis and humiliating me. She followed me into the women's bathroom and began talking about me to a coworker while I sobbed in a stall. Anyone know what I can do? And here's the image that she posted online. We can see it right here. This is assault. I don't really think this should be a controversial statement with any of you, but trans or no, this is assault. Like, sexual assault at that. Like, battery even, because I'm gonna be completely honest, assault, like, hitting someone in the testicles is very different from like touching someone's testicles tenderly. You know, when you go for a hit, when you go for a hit on someone's testicles, that you're going for a kill shot. All right, you're going there to cause pain, and that is battery. All right. Like, that's not just sexual assault. That is battery. You're doing that to cause pain. That is like assault also. Yeah. Trans or no. That absolutely unacceptable. And then here's the photo of her crying that she posted. So, yeah, fuck the TSA. Not a very controversial statement. Honestly, with anyone, like, I really don't feel like anybody, like, on any political side disagrees that the TSA just fucking sucks. Like, conservatives, lefties, liberals, and libertarians alike, like, we're, like, even the Nazis, we're all going hand in hand. Fuck the TSA. Anyway, in a follow-up post, she said she was left crying for over an hour and said, quote-unquote, my balls still hurt so bad, according to a screenshot from the Daily Mail. She does not want the TSA agent to be fired, she said in a separate post, but wanted her educated and the entirety of the TSA abolished altogether. This person's definitely fucking based. She's definitely like a pro-worker based person, like abolish the TSA. I feel like she should press charges, but she probably doesn't have the time, energy, or resources to do that. In response to the woman's post, JFK Airport apologized for the incident. We apologize again for your experience, the airport tweeted in response, according to the Daily Mail. Your comments have been noted and shared. What a corporate response. Regardless, like, Jesus Christ, what a horrific story to hear, and I would honestly recommend pressing charges for something like that. I feel like that would be a pretty... Aren't there cameras all over airports? Like, I feel like if there's anywhere where you could guarantee that something that happened to you was caught on camera in decent quality, it would be an airport. Right? Am I wrong, chat? Especially JFK, one of the, like, the airports. Like, there's a few the airports in America. JFK International is one of the airports. Like, we're not talking some dinky old, like, random-ass airport in the middle of nowhere. We're talking one of the airports. As you can imagine, the response to this post, and it was posted on Twitter, of course, has been, as I mentioned before, the very common and expected conservative cruelty is a virtue mindset. Here's the Right to Bear Memes, a seemingly very popular conservative meme account, who posted this saying, "Step up, sir. It's ma'am. We'll see about that," and then edited the TSA agent to be a Chad. And then that has 3,177 likes in a couple days. So yeah, that's just one of the replies that I was sent in chat, but there are quite a few more. Here we've got one that's a transphobic comment. "I'll never know how it feels to get hit in the nuts, but I guess that's why I'll never be Woman of the Year." It was posted by a cis woman. The idea is that, like, cis women can't be Women of the Year now because trans women are taking the position up and hugging up all the glory. And that has 11,000 likes. Without getting into a man-woman debate, at TSA can do a better job. Hey, this is a good one. Okay, this one's at least decent. "Quote-unquote, she claimed her balls hurt so bad after the alleged assault. Laughing crying emoji, laughing crying emoji, laughing crying emoji. Fun fact, women don't have balls, shrugging emoji. 6,000 likes." This is very revealing of the whole trans ideology thing. It knows it's not a woman and doesn't want to be one, i.e. it's still having its quote-unquote balls, in parentheses, but nevertheless wants all the perks that come with being trans. I'm pretty sure this woman doesn't use its pronouns. Some people do. Some trans people do, but this trans person doesn't. And that has 1,000 likes. These are all replies to that particular New York Post article. These are the top replies, to be clear. "We tell a person's gender by their phenotype, just as we have been doing for 200,000 years of our evolutionary history. Women don't have testicles. Men with gender dysphoria have testicles. Such men falsely believe they are the opposite sex. They are out of touch with reality." 2,377 likes. So we got another one. "Newsflash, women don't have testes." 3,300 likes. And let's finish it off with a meme. I feel like we should finish it off with this meme that has a ton of likes as well, as like a final show into the fact that these people actively take joy and find humor in the suffering of minorities. "When you get shot in the groin by a rubber bullet, and your made-up gender doesn't protect your willy." The idea behind this is that, like, LGBT, like a trans woman who's a protester for, like, trans rights would get, like, police violence done on them. Like they would, like, the police would do excessive force on them and, like, shoot them with rubber bullets. And that's funny. That's the joke. That's the joke. These people don't find much joy in their lives outside of anything other than, like, the prospect of causing misery in another person's life. Ideally the lives of, you know, minorities and lefties, right? It's why I consistently and incessantly say these people are not honest. These people are not good. They are not fundamentally good people. They are automatons that have a script running that purely incentivizes them to analyze every situation and find a way to make it about how the left or, like, some minority took an L and the right took the W, and, you know, that's it. That's pretty much all they care about. That's they're NPCs, and they have a script running to turn every situation to exactly that. There's really not much else to say about it. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. They act out of complete cruelty. And, like, come on. There's a certain point where I think that the cruelty has gotten too excessive, right? If you remember back during Gamergate, and hell, if you remember back to the beginning of this age of conservative media control and, like, conservative internet cultural control, they kept the mask on. There was a level of, like, vagueness they had to keep up when it came to their outright hateful rhetoric they would spew about trans people. There was layers of euphemism and dog whistles they had to use, but now it's getting to the point where they're just outright taking joy in the suffering of minorities. And I don't think that's going to work out very well for the right in the long run, considering the fact Gen Z is, you know, the most progressive generation, like, more progressive than So, like, Gen Z is more progressive than their parents were progressive than their parents, right? Like, the gap of, like, progressive values between Gen Z's parents and Gen Z's parents is significant. So with that said, and considering the fact that Gen Z, online in particular, is almost single-handedly pushing the prevalence of progressive values and the, like, almost like the radicalism of progressive values. Like, if you look on TikTok in, like, the Zoomer lefty spheres, they are radical in what they're pushing. Considering that's what a lot of lefties, or not a lot of lefties, a lot of Zoomers are kind of gravitating towards, more so than even, like, being moderate. The right doesn't have much longer in them, and they required a faux sort of, like, veneer of looking presentable in order to make their ideas palatable at all, right? And that's what they did very effectively in the early days of Gamergate, and that's what they did very effectively in the early days of Gamergate 2, what we're in now, as I call it. But right now, I think that's starting to melt and fall apart. Do you consider yourself a Zoomer? I am, by definition, a Zoomer. And I think a large part of it is the fact that so many people within this group are becoming so mask off about it, like they did back in the day. Like, for example, we've got a Nazi in the chat right now. Here, I don't know if you can see them, but it says right here, Grey Capitalist says, "I hate troons." If you don't know, that's a transphobic slur. Like, the people who are in this have made their entire personalities I'm also banning this person. Have made their entire personalities. Actually, wait. You want to come on and debate? Here, let me wrap up this segment. We can see if you want to come on and debate before I ban you. Like, these people make, as that person did there, cruelty towards minorities and the left their entire personality, and it just makes all of them look bad. They do a disservice to their own group because they rely heavily on optics to make any of what they say look good, because nothing they say makes any sense. They rely heavily on optics, and when people start losing the plot on optics within the right, their propaganda control, their cultural control through propaganda falls apart. And that's what we're kind of starting to see the beginning of, I think. Anyway, that's really all I have to say on the issue.